Yo, what's going on, guys? Baroque Allegations here, back at it with another banger video, and in today's video, the final video of today, we have finally made it. That is right, the best albums of 2024. Once this video is done, we can get into 2025, and I look forward to it. But I also look forward to counting down this list and sharing with you some albums that made last year easier for me. Number 20 is going to be Scrapyard by Quedeca. Less an album and more a compilation of previously released singles with some bonus ones added on, but this sort of looser format allowed for Quedeca to really sort of tap into multiple sounds, and no two songs here sound the same. There's psychedelic tracks here, there's folk songs here, there's rap songs here, there's R&B songs here. There's some more rock inspired stuff here. There's acoustic tracks. It's just such a versatile and fun album, an easy album to listen to. The fun carries over to our number 19 spot with As Grande As by Grande Mahogany. Really enjoyable psych rock record with a blues rock appeal to it. Think Jimi Hendrix, think Tame Impala, kind of meld them together, and this album is what you get. Number 18 is going to be No Hands by Joey Valence and Bray. Just a really fun, old school hip hop love letter in the form of a 2024 rap album with elements of hip house, trap music, all sorts on here. You've got multiple bangers that I could just go through. Every single song on here is great. Whether you're looking at the more sort of introspective tracks like No Hands, the title track, or Omnitrix, or you're looking at fun bangers like The Baddest, or John Cena. Where You From's a bouncy track. You know, you've just got, there's so much here with appeal. Pack a Punch with Danny Brown is an absolute banger. So much good tracks. Number 17 is going to be The New Sound by Jordy Grape, a really sort of ambitious jazz rock album with a deep narrative under it about forbidden love. Really sort of healing album to listen to, but also just a really fun album to listen to. I believe well over 30 musicians worked on this. I can't remember where I heard that from, so I may have to check my sources. But it was just an outstanding album. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Number 16 is going to be the work of an album of the year user, and that is going to be A Lonely Sinner by Sam LRC, or Sam Lurk. I've heard it said both ways, I'm not entirely sure how to say their name. An album that deals with themes of gender dysphoria, can relate to that one, and trans issues, and takes them into this really sort of beautiful soundscape, blending ambient music, drone music, little bits of folk here and there, and it's just such a wonderful album to listen to. I did multiple rewrites of this lists, but I'm kind of kicking myself for not including a song from here on there on my best songs list. Philosia would probably be the one if I were to. Just a really beautiful, soothing, and healing album to listen to. Number 15 is going to be Kaleidoscope by Turquoise Death, an artist who I've enjoyed all I've heard from, but they totally stepped up on this record. If you like your drum and bass to be ambient and glitchy and shoegaze influenced, this is for you. Really sort of cool music with a lot of those euphoric goosebumps moments that you're looking for in more sort of ambient realms of music. Really, really cool stuff. Number 14 is going to be Novella by Q. or Chua. I'm not sure how to say her name, sorry. I believe they're a Brazilian artist. I may be wrong there. Be sure to correct me in the comments, please. But also be sure to listen to this album if you haven't heard it. Chua is a massive presence in the MPB community, as far as I'm aware, and this album was my first real deep delve into that sound. And it was a fantastic introduction. There's almost elements of flamenco here, but like also like these sophistopop elements reminiscent of someone like a Jessie Ware, for example, with elements of smooth soul and reggaeton and stuff all throughout as well. It's just really good, really good music, and I really like it. Next up is going to be Shh, Don't Jinx It by Sugarpit, in at number 13. Really fun dance punk album, with elements of synth punk in there as well. Sugarpit was an artist I discovered through Anthony Fantano's weekly track review. His song Data completely sold me on his sound. It's so punchy and groovy, yet also witty lyrically. And this album, no two songs sound the same, and it just kind of takes you through this really fun electric sonic world. Number 12 is going to be Hotel LaRue by Jonah Wong. Can you tell I've recorded 2 videos today? Yeah, really fun jazz pop, jangle pop, kind of punky, weird left field album. It goes through is it 23 songs on here? Every single song on here is a different story, and it's told through a different genre, and it is such a unique soundscape and atmosphere for an album this year. You've also got one of my favourite cover arts of the year. This album's just really fun to listen to from front to back, but there's many songs you can pull out individually as fun, catchy bangers. Number 11, speaking of versatility, there's plenty of versatility present on What Now by Brittany Howard. Really amazing psychedelic soul album with elements of psych rock and dance music present as well. Brittany Howard, I believe, has done work in groups before, but this was my first experience with her solo music, and it was really good. Really fantastic production throughout. Brilliant transitions between songs and stuff, if that's what you're into. Many bangers on here as well. The title track on this album is an absolute belter. A really good album. Now into the top 10. We are going to kick off the top 10 with Adrienne Lenker's Bright Future. Really heart-wrenching and deeply emotional country folk Americana kind of album. There's so many heart-wrenching songs on here. I obviously spoke about Real House before, but like you've also got songs like Sadness is a Gift that I could have very easily included. It feels very timeless in its sound. It's one of those records that I think honestly doesn't even really feel like a 2024 album. Like this feels like something you could encounter in the 70s, but in the best way possible. In the sense that I think this is an album that is appreciated now, but will also be appreciated for years to come. Number 9 is going to be Worldwide Whack by Tierra Whack. We finally saw the return and the full-length debut of Tierra Whack. We obviously had Whack World, which was one of my favourite albums of the 2010s decade. In terms of visual albums, maybe my favourite ever visual album. Just really good colourful, vibrant music. This album saw T-ara kind of tone the colour down a little bit and get more into a emotional bag. There's a lot of really sort of sad music here, but T-ara does it perfectly. I have a really deep connection with the song 27 Club that I'm not really comfortable getting into during this video, and shit. Numb is also a really good metaphor for depression. The penultimate song, whose name's just gone out of my head, is really good. But you do have those more sort of traditional T-ara Wax style songs on here, with a banger like Chanel Pit, or a fun, groovy, yet left field and strange song like Shower Song, which also has its own mental health elements discussed. Just really great, fun, dynamic blend of rap and R&B and pop music that all comes together to make something that is deeply colourful and vibrant, yet under the surface quite heart-wrenching. Number 8, speaking of a fan album, Negative Spaces by Poppy. All of you knew this was going to be here. I think she had like 13,000 minutes in my Spotify Wrapped or something. This album's already like my 4th most played of all time or something crazy like that, according to Stats FM. Just a love letter to metalcore, really. There's so many different sounds and influences on here, whether you're looking at more industrial tracks like the opener, more nu metal inspired songs like Nothing, or even like emo-y appealing music like The Cost of Giving Up. You've also got The Centers Falling Out, New Way Out, They're All Around Us. Just so many bangers. There's also more sort of poppy stuff like Crystallized or Vital, or the wonderful Halo. Closer, you've got Surviving on Defiance, which I think is one of the most simple yet potent songs of the year lyrically. I was a little nervous for this album, I'm not gonna lie. Zig has grown on me, but I wasn't the biggest fan when it released, and seeing that she was working with Jordan Fish, I was thinking that this was going to be a really generic album, but it's not. It still totally stands out, which obviously we should have come to expect by now by Poppy. So many sounds, so many wonderful lyrical ideas, and all with an amazing vocalist at the center of it. Really good. Number 7 is another album with a lot of great ideas and an amazing vocalist at the center, and that's going to be Girl With No Face by Ali X. Just a really fun synth pop album. A love letter to synth pop, if you will. I feel like oftentimes with synth pop, it can feel like people are trying to capture a certain era. You know, you listen to After Hours by The Weeknd, or Midnights by Taylor Swift, and it feels like it's trying to be like, oh, we're so quirky, we're so 80s. No, this album isn't trying to be Madonna or whatever. It's trying to be Ali X, but it succeeds. And there's so many weird, wacky choices on here. Like the song Hardware Software is one of the most strange songs I've heard this year. There's so many lyrical ideas explored. The feeling of drifting apart from someone, body dysmorphia. This album goes into self-loathing. I'm making it sound like this sad album. It's so accessible and so fun to listen to. Number 6, just missing out on the top 5, is going to be my favourite rap album of the year, and that's going to be Shadowbox by Mavi. Really sort of great, abstract, sort of cloud rap, jazzy, weird stuff from Mavi on here. Many amazing lyrical tracks, great flows all throughout. The production's brilliant. Mavi is an artist who I only really was introduced to this year, and I'm so glad that it happened, because in a year where rap has been a bit less project focused, I was worried that there wasn't going to be a rap album on here, but this album is our rap album. Obviously No Hands as well. Really good record. It's very different from No Hands, but I would still recommend it. Number 5. I can't believe this album's missing out on the top 3, but that just shows how strong and competitive this year has been in music. It took a lot out of me to put this here. Is going to be Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. Just one of the best produced pop albums I think I've ever listened to. Each song feels like its own sonic world, even down to the interludes, which are like 40 seconds long or whatever. They are so expansive and wonderful to listen to. Mika is an amazing vocalist, Matt's an amazing producer. Each element of this, whether it's live instrumentation or synthetic production, is done so incredibly well. The lyrics tap into many themes tied into the digital age and existentialism and a bunch of other stuff. It's really good. It is. I could have gone with a number of songs from this on my best songs of the year list. Whether you're looking at Death and Romance, which is the banger lead single, Image, which is insane, Cry for Me, which is like evil disco music, That's My Floor, which is one of the most groovy and catchy songs of the year, Love Is Everywhere, which has one of the most beautiful messages, Vampire in the Corner, which is some of the wildest vocal runs I've heard all year, Watching TV, which is a really ominous song. I'm just listing every song here. She Looked Like Me, a really good intro to things. Tunnel Vision, really good. What's it called? Boom boom dun 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 dun. What is it? Killing Time, really groovy and one of the best bass lines all year. I could just talk about the sound of this album forever. I love Magdalena Bay. It was a very hard task to follow up Mercurial World, in my opinion. That was one of the best albums of 2021. That album's going to be 4 years old this year. That's crazy. But they managed, and they did it with flying colours on Imaginal Disc. Number 4 is going to be Brat by Charlie XCX. I love this album. I feel like a lot of people like talk about it and they just kind of burn it down to Brat Summer, and it's like, let's all just go crazy and this album's about doing coke and stuff. But there's so much here, so much emotion and passion within this project, despite its fun, bubbly, and unapologetically ignorant sound. You've got just so many lyrical themes on this album, themes of jealousy, themes of sadness, anger, even a song about feeling like you're running out of time for being a parent and stuff. It's a really thought-provoking and deeply nuanced album beneath its amazing dance pop exterior, which does go very hard. So many amazing electrifying choruses on here. The production is fantastic all throughout. Really good album. Number 3 is going to be You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. This album felt like listening to metal for the first time again. It is so brutal. I mean, it's not even really metal. It's more just really, really, really heavy punk music. But, like, they're still going heavier than the majority of metal bands out there just now. Even in a year where there was some really horrible stuff in the metal mainstream, albums like this give me hope for the genre. The album tackles the loss of faith as a theme, and I think it does it perfectly well. And even underneath all the chugs of guitar, the clattering snares, and the unrelenting breakdowns, there is a deep sense of poeticism on here. I really love the writing. It's one of my favorite written albums of the year. Really good stuff. Number 2, we're going to be tossing up between 2 10s. That's right, this year gave me 2 10s. 2 albums that I think are absolutely incredible in their own ways. And it was really tough to choose between which one was going to be my favorite of the year. And it still took me up until today to make that decision. But I think I have landed on it. We're going to be going for Woof by Fat Dog in at number 2. This really exhilarating blend of EBM, goth rock, industrial, dance music, punk music. So much is going on this record. It cycles through adrenaline really well. I think that kind of is the main theme of the album, is what comes with adrenaline. You know, there's tracks that are very paranoid here, tracks that are very manic here, and it all comes together to be this really sort of up and down and topsy-turvy yet amazing album to pump your blood to. It's so good. My go-to when I'm in a car and it's nighttime. Absolutely. Really great produced album. I don't know where Fat Dog go from here, because debuting with a 10 is insane, but I really look forward to seeing where they go from this. Just a fantastic album. Really, truly fantastic. But very few albums I have heard in my lifetime stack up to what is at number 1. An album that really sort of shocked me later on in the year, as it was by an artist who I wasn't super familiar with going into it, and that is going to be Monarch of Monsters by Violet Pony. Where do I even start with this thing? I wrote a 4,000 word review on it, so please do consider checking that out on my Album of the Year page. I haven't thought of a name yet. Always stay plugging. I don't even know what I can say about this album. Nothing I say I feel has the magnitude to measure up to the brilliance and artistic mastery that this album has. I just want you to listen to it. I deeply encourage that you listen to this album, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. Also, please do consider reading Astra's Cool's review of this album and Ace of Thorns' review of this album, because they did a way better job of talking about it than I did. But I can't really go into this without crying, so I'm not going to do that. But without further ado, I'm going to close the video now. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please do consider leaving a like on the video. If you're into music discussion, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Yeah, please do go following my Album of the Year. I haven't thought of a name yet. We just hit 70 followers, which I can't believe. That's like totally ludicrous to me. And yeah, 2024 was a really good year for music. Let's hope 2025 is even better. Comment down below your favorite album of 2024, and also comment down below your most anticipated upcoming album of 2025. But that is going to be me. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed. I love you guys, and goodbye.